Hello, beautiful San Francisco. I love being alive. How about you? You digging it? Yeah! Okay. Well, what I haven't said yet publicly before is that, unfortunately, I have a terminal illness. And it's forming a backdrop to my daily life. And that illness is aging. You got that one too? Okay, together on that. So I should be reasonable and buck up, deal with it like a mature person. Reasonable. So reasonably, I think I have three alternatives. One, I could die painlessly, unexpectedly, quickly. And it wouldn't be so bad, right? Unfortunately, that is the absolute worst outcome for people you care about and love. They have the highest chance of dying of illnesses immediately afterward, especially for people very close, or of having post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, number two, you could die predictably, painfully, slowly. That's actually the best for the people you care about. So the third alternative, unreasonable. Dylan Thomas, poignantly, somewhat ironically, wrote about his recently departed father. Do not go gently into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Okay, that's how I feel about it. So, why not? We're in an age now where biological technology is taking off so incredibly rapidly that it is now within the grasp of technology within our lifetimes to figure out how biology works, the mechanisms of aging, and be able to deal with that disease. But is that such a good idea? Humanity has some problems with that. First of all, it's not natural. It's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to die. Everybody dies. All animals die. Everything has died forever. Aging is natural. Is aging natural? What if in a 7-year-old child with an accelerated aging disease called progeria, they're developing the aging symptoms of a 70-year-old? Then that's tragic, and it should be treated humanely. But that's just a time span difference. So why, when I'm 70, are they saying, oh, well, he was old? Looking at the last couple of 100 years, technology has been improving our lifespan gradually, predictably, steadily. We look back in a time when there were no antibiotics. Parents gathered around the deathbed of their child, watching it slowly be consumed of some bacterial disease, eating it bit by bit, the last few moments of life. That's barbaric from this perspective. Give the kid antibiotics. That's immoral. That's inhumane. Zooming out, looking forward, I believe we will look back on a time now when we had no anti-aging therapies and think, how barbaric, all these beautiful people rotting away from the inside. Some other problems. What about overpopulation? If everybody lives forever, won't the planet be completely full and it'll turn into a Mad Max post-apocalyptic hell? Consider fertility. This is a graph of fertility rate on the vertical and wealth and security on the horizontal. At the top we have Niger, the poorest. Many, many children being born, extremely high birth rate, very, very low security. The world is in the center, just coincidentally, slightly above the green line, which says that's the constant population line. At the other extreme, Switzerland. We got a Switzerland out there? Switzerlander? Awesome. Wealth, we have low fertility rate. Extrapolate this graph a little farther, and you'll see that the higher someone's security, the less they feel an urgency to reproduce. And this will bring the world back into equilibrium. Perhaps you know a close woman friend who wasn't quite sure whether she wanted to have children. And then the biological alarm clock goes off. Well, I better have one now because then I'll lose my chance. Imagine being able to defer your childbearing years to a more convenient time. Grow up a little bit more. Another 100 years? Why not? But I'm talking about extending the healthy lifespan of the human being. Keeping your youthful body, your functional body, to do whatever kinds of crazy things you want to do with it. Maybe you'll die of them, but that's your business. I'm talking about getting rid of the inexorable things, the disease called aging. So, there are a number of theories about how aging works. Do I subscribe to one of them in particular? There's the wear and tear theory, the genes, different animals live for different times, there's something there, hormonal programming, mitochondrial theory of aging. Actually, all of the above. These things are all true. It's a complex, mixed process. Aubrey de Grey of the SENS Foundation lays it out in a simple structure where you have metabolism, that's the normal functioning of the body. And as the normal functioning, there's garbage created, there's junk in the cells and protein cross-linking, and that's what he calls damage. And eventually, well, that's fine while you're young. There's lots of room in your cells, and it's fine for me now, mostly. But as it builds up and the trash hasn't taken out, then you start getting problems, pathology. Then you get loss of elasticity of your tissues. Your organs start failing. You become frail. This is not the later life that I'm envisioning. I'm talking about youthful lifespan. So a lot of money and effort, and we've heard about this. Valiant, noble people work in geriatrics. And that is, the damage is occurring, and you're trying to minimize the suffering and delay the diseases that are occurring into the pathology. You could help a bit. On the other end, you have gerontology tackling the effects of metabolism, trying to understand metabolism and decrease its ability to create the damage in the first place. Very, very complicated problem. This is a view of just one part of the metabolic pathways in one of our cells. And nobody understands this. Some people understand little pieces of it. A long-term project. So is it impossible to figure out? 15 years ago, Gunther